Welcome to the 2020 Toastmasters District 75 Table Topics Contest. And to open the contest, let me call on our District Director, Toastmaster, and Margaret Danga.
Thank you very much, Ned. By the power vested in me, a Toastmasters International, I now declare our table topics and evaluation speech contest to order.
And to welcome our host, 2019 Evaluation Contest Champion, Toastmaster, Pria, Chiongbian.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and friends. Welcome to the District 75 Evaluation Speech Contest. Evaluation and feedback is one of the key components in the Toastmasters educational program, which allows each of us to grow as a better speaker and a better leader. Delivering successful evaluation rides on so many skills, including speaking, listening, and analytical, to name a few. Today, contestants from 13 different divisions will be showcasing their training in evaluating speech and delivering their winning evaluating speech. I wonder whose name will be the newest addition into this perpetual trophy and who will be the caretaker of this beautiful class this coming year. With that, we now give credit to where credit is due, and we proceed with our invocation and Toastmasters promise to be led by Toastmasters Melody Leon.
Let us feel the presence of our Holy Creator, the Omnipotent and the Omnipresent. Holy Creator, thank you for this opportunity to gather virtually as one Toastmasters community. Thank you for the event organizers, technical experts, and support group for sharing their technical know-how. Please guide all the role takers, especially our panel of judges. Shower them with discernment and objectivity as they choose our speech champions today. Calm our contestants, bless them with the presence of mind and the grace under pressure. Help them also to handle the result of these contests maturely and graciously. Lord, please help us to see what is beautiful and helpful in our event today. Amen.
Thank you.
Toastmasters promise. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Melody. And now, before we proceed to the contest proper, let us now hear a few words from our Program Quality Director, Toastmaster Marilyn Legaspi.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters and district leaders, esteemed Board of Judges, guests, a wonderful Sunday afternoon to all of us. It is with great delight to welcome all of you on this one and another public speaking competition, a showcase of brilliant and talented speakers and Toastmasters. For all of us, a chance and a privilege to witness the champions from each division taking into the challenge and soar higher in this journey and evaluation speech contest. Joining a competition, we can always recall the thrill, the excitement, the fast beating of the heart, and most of all, the joy and fulfillment. Today's competition is unique. First time ever, we do it online. The challenges, the preparations, all worth it. It is a feat of hard work, commitment, and dedication. This one great opportunity, one of the greatest opportunities of this online contest. Many of us are watching live in the comforts of our homes, and even together with the family, a bonding time for our family. And what better way to promote Toastmasters? This is one great opportunity. And for the contestants, good luck. To the mentors as well, good luck. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pria.
Thank you, Toastmaster Marilyn Legaspi. Indeed, as what our Program Quality Director said, in the speech contest, there will always be the thrill and the excitement. And contestants, I know this must be nerve-wracking right now. But trust me when I say that you should all enjoy and bask in this moment. This will always be one of the best experiences we can have as a Toastmaster. I believe we are about ready to begin with our contest, and I will proceed with mentioning about the objectives and the contest rules. So the objectives of the evaluation speech contest are to encourage development of evaluation skills and to recognize the best as encouragement to all, and to provide an opportunity to learn by observing the more proficient speakers who have benefited from their Toastmasters training. The contest rules are: to be eligible for this contest, a member or the contestant must be a member in good standing of a club in good standing. The time allocation for this contest is from 2 to 3 minutes. Speeches less than 1 minute and 30 seconds and greater than 3 minutes and 30 seconds will be disqualified. At the beginning of the contest, a 5 to 7 set speech will be presented. At the conclusion of the speech, contestants will be transferred to the breakout room and will then have 5 minutes to prepare their evaluation. After 5 minutes, no further preparations are being done, and contestant number 1 will be transferred back into this main room. The contestants have been briefed about the contest rules, the timing protocols, and the conduct in the breakout room in accordance with the Toastmasters International Contest rules, I will make no introduction of the contestants. I will merely announce each contestant's name twice. Immediately upon the conclusion of each contestant's response, we will observe 1 minute of silence while our judges complete their ballot. The contestants have drawn their speaking orders, and the order is as follows. Contestant number 1, Ruth Mocorro. Contestant number 2, Juan Antonio Mendoza. Contestant number 3, Martin Esoto. Contestant number 4, Christian Pama. Contestant number 5, Kenneth Co. Contestant number 6, Ana Luisa Guevarra. Contestant number 7, Craig Manabal. Contestant number 8, Einer Abuyuan. Contestant number 9, Ruben Acebedo II. Contestant number 10, Doreen Cooper. Contestant number 11, Nico Ivan Velasquez. Contestant number 12, Vanessa Manliquez. Contestant number 13, Eduardo Catayoc III. All contestants are now required to turn on their videos, and we request everyone to stay muted and keep your videos off. We are now ready to proceed. Our test speaker will be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes, and the timing live will be used only for the speaker's guidance. Friends and fellow Toastmasters, please help me encourage and welcome our test speaker of the day. Rachelle Payumo-Acab. Save for the rainy days. Save for the rainy days. Rachelle Payumo-Acab.
Kamusta po kayo? How are you all doing now, my fellow Toastmasters? You know, I was thinking of a certain powerful question that could start this speech, but honestly, with everything that's happening in the world right now, that's the only appropriate and comforting question I could think of at this moment. COVID-19 came when the whole world least expected it. This pandemic has affected each of us in one way or another. It could have affected our health or our families, our everyday routine, our social life, and even worse, our sources of income, our businesses, our jobs, our livelihood. We all have our own stories how this pandemic disrupted our lives. I, for one, had to forget I was a manager and had to go out on the streets, sell chickens for the Chooks to Go rolling stores. In my 8 years of working for Bounty Agro Ventures, I never imagined doing that. But we all had to, so we can help our company stay afloat even after this crisis and save our jobs. We also did not expect that my husband would have to experience salary deductions from 10% at the onset and now to 30%. Of course, we're still thankful for everything that we still receive until this day, but as a newly married couple, that definitely has an effect in our finances and plans. That 30% is already equivalent to a month's worth of groceries. I know it could have been worse for us. My situation may still be better than some, and sadly, for most of our countrymen, it is worse than what we imagine. But regardless of the degree of the effects that this crisis has brought us, all I know is no one was prepared. Don't you agree? We all did not see this coming. We could go on talking about what companies, countries, and communities far and wide had to tackle a lot of uncertainties that this pandemic brought us under this state of public health emergency. But why don't we go on a more personal level and reflect on some of our actions that may have helped or may not have helped? One of my biggest realizations during this time is that the saying, saving for the rainy days, has never been more relevant. Rainy days simply means to reserve something, usually money, for an unforeseen need or emergency. The risk of losing my job and my husband's unexpected pay cuts had me thinking about this, and actually made me more thankful for some wise decisions on money that we made through the years. So allow me now to share with you some very common and practical advices, especially for professionals like us, and personal experiences that may give us insights on years. I used to always ask my father to buy me a new pair of shoes every school year, even though my school shoes were still in good condition. My father then would always tell me how he would always have only one pair of shoes at any given time. And I did see that. He would only buy a new pair when the old one has already served him well. So growing up, my dad was my role model to the saying, live within your means. As a military officer or as a retired military officer, he only had his pension to rely on to support his wife and 3 kids, and everything had to be budgeted for our needs. So from what I've learned from my dad, became very helpful when I had my first taste of independence. For college, I went to the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, and since Laguna was 2-hour bus ride from home in Manila, I had to stay in a campus dorm and ensure I would survive with my weekly allowance that was granted by my. And so, simply put, back in college, I learned how to budget my allowance and stretch my resources. I actually remember back in freshman year, I would buy a chicken meal for lunch, and I would ask the crew half have the one half for lunch and the other for dinner. So looking back, those were the things that I did in order for me to budget wisely and not spend on unnecessary things. Graduating from college, I found work at San Miguel Pure Foods for my first job. And just like most fresh graduates, I wasn't paid a lot for an admin work. But at that time, I had this desire to travel and the sense of freedom and see the world. And so I started to set a goal and save for it. After few short years of saving a portion of my salary for that trip that I wanted, I was able to save enough for a backpacking trip in Asia. And I was able to travel to 5 Asian countries for my first trip abroad. It's not a lot. Before this pandemic happened, that habit helped me to save also for things in the Philippines, US. A certain portion of my salary for saving for whatever for myself. I learned and I applied in the years that followed that living within my means, budgeting wisely, and setting a goal and saving for it were the important things that I needed to do. And I never knew that saving for a future trip, supposedly with my husband to London, would actually be our saving grace in this time of financial difficulty. My friends, the worst case scenario has already happened. And I hope there will, but if it happens again, I hope that we are already prepared enough, not just financially, but also physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, so that whatever life throws at us, we can still take the world by storm. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rachel. Technical team, please transfer all contestants to the breakout room for the 5 minutes of preparation. And please inform me when all contestants have been.
Just waiting for Anna to accept the breakout room invitation. Anna Guevarra. Okay. All contestants are now in the breakout room with Sergeant at Arms Bernardino.
Okay, thank you. Timer, please inform me when the 5 minutes of preparation is up. While we wait for our contestants to finish preparing for their evaluation, we will be speaking with our test speaker and getting to know her more. Yes, good afternoon, Toastmaster Rachel.
Hi,
Hello.
Toastmaster Pria.
Yes, good afternoon.
Nice to meet you virtually.
Nice to meet you too. First, let me ask you, kamusta ka? How are you?
Well, right now I feel relieved that the speech is over. I've been preparing for this since yesterday, so all is good. All is well.
Oh, that's good. So how does it feel
Can you hear
like?
me?
Yes, you can. So how does it feel like being a test speaker for the entire District 75?
This is my first time to be a test speaker, and my felt very, since there's no actual audience. I only have my laptop in front of me. So, but I'm still very thankful that we have this we can use for
Okay. So you mentioned that you've been preparing for this. So what or who was the inspiration behind your speech and how did you really prepare for this?
well, the topic that I chose for my speech was relevant for me because uh, this pandemic started, and recently the news of my husband's pay cut was announced. So that realization to speak today and share with everyone as well, since as I've said in my speech, it has never been more relevant for us to really budget our finances wisely and to prepare for unforeseen events like this.
Indeed, very relevant and timely time for these circumstances. So Toastmaster Rachel, let me ask you, what club are you from and how has the journey been so far?
From Bavi Toastmasters Club, and it's the Bavi is the company behind Chooks to Go, if some of you are not familiar. And in the Toastmasters community, it's one of the corporate clubs, and our company has really been supportive of this endeavor. Our membership fees, and we are actually incentivized. Our membership fees are covered or paid by the company, and we are incentivized with every norm that we achieve. And so we're very thankful for the company for supporting us in this Toastmaster journey. And recently, I've just been elected as VP for Education in my, although I'm president before already, but I think and they had a campaign to have a certain group of people lang for the officers for the next term. So it's been a very enriching and fulfilling experience, not just for me, but also for Bavi employees who are members of the Toastmasters Club.
Wow. All right, Toastmaster Rachel, all the best in the coming year.
Thank you.
As you serve your club as a Vice President for Education. I, for one, am ending my term as a VP Ed, and if any of us or all of us who have been VP Ed one, it really is one of the most challenging roles.
Yeah.
To have as a Toastmaster, right?
I agree.
Just to share with you, or I'm not sure if you've heard, but Cebu right now is looking for 17,000 lost chickens. I'm sure all Toastmasters from Cebu right now know about it. Maybe Bounty can help the government out for it so we can move on from that issue. But anyway, going back to our interview.
Pria, 5 minutes is up.
Okay, 5 minutes, and maybe thank you, Toastmaster Rachel, for allowing us to get to know you a little bit more. So maybe ask the technical team to bring contestant number 1 back into the main room.
Waiting for contestant number 1 to accept the invite to go to the main room.
Please judge. Are the judges ready?
Contestant number 1 is already in the main room.
Yes, the judges are ready.
Okay, timer, are you ready? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start the contest. Contestant number 1, Ruth Mocorro. Ruth Mocorro, contestant number 1.
Wow, that was a very inspiring speech. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Toastmaster Rachel, thank you so much for delivering that speech today. It was so timely, and I so love the key message, especially when you gave out examples. These are so very relatable when you spoke about how your dad asked you or trained you to be able to live within your means. That is so good. What I also like about how you delivered the speech was that you were very calm and you were smiling the entire time. Now, what I'd like to do though is give you a few tips or maybe a couple of options that you can try on your next speaking engagements. Number one, I saw that while you were giving out your speech, you started out with, "Kumusta po kayo?" And then you followed it out with the COVID pandemic. It was so timely, yes. But as we moved down further, I was trying to analyze the key message and the purpose of the speech. Yes, you were able to give out tips, but I was really looking for an answer to how can we cope up with this pandemic? It would have been better if later on we have provided some more call to action, because the speech was already inspiring, but there was some point towards the end where I felt that, okay, I have already felt so bad with what's happening with the COVID pandemic. Now, what can I do? This is something I can do later on, but what can I do now? Another item that I have observed is there were times when you were looking down. This is an opportunity for you to also use your eyes and your facial expressions as a key factor to enhance your speech. Sometimes when you say, "Oh, let me think about it," when you say when you try to describe what you're trying to do, then the audience would feel like, okay, that gesture is part of the speech. Overall, I so love that. And I hope that as you move on further, you will continue speaking calmly and giving a message that is relatable to the audience, but maybe you can work on making sure that the purpose of the speech is clear, and at the same time, try to play around with your facial gestures and your eyes to further improve the speech. So now let's get ready to prepare for the storm. Congratulations, Madam Contest Chair.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 2. Juan Antonio Mendoza. Contestant number 2.
I am doing great. How about you, Toastmaster Rachel? Hello, Toastmaster Rachel. I would like to start with commending you for a confident performance of your speech. I noticed that you weren't stuttering and you used gestures and you even moved from side to side during the duration of your speech. I also noted that your speech was well structured as you started with a rhetorical question. That question already caught our attention. You started with, "How are you all doing now? Kamusta kayo?" That's good. Number 3, you also highlighted lessons you learned throughout your life. After you delivered these or stated these lessons, you gave a short story on when and how you realized those lessons. Then you finally summarized it at the end by repeating your points, which is essential in especially in a lengthy Toastmasters speech, so that the audience will be guided as to what you are already saying and at what part of the speech you already are. Moving forward to elevate your speech to a higher level, I recommend that you look into your gestures, because gestures and your facial expressions actually complement your speech. It is not meant to distract the audience, rather to emphasize a greater point. So for example, when you said me, or when you referred to yourself during your speech, you were doing this or this. When you refer to yourself, it is best if you use this gesture. Myself, I, when I was young, and the like. You also can use expressions when you refer to feelings of sadness, or when you reminisce memories. For example, when you talk about your father. I remember when I was young and my father told me about the shoes. I also recommend that you use vocal variety. For example, when you're telling a story, it is best if you speak at a faster pace, because telling a story slowly would be dragging. Also, look to end your speech with a bang. You started with a good introduction. You said, "How are you all doing now?" It would be best if you ended with the same question, or you answered it yourself. In sum, you delivered a well-organized speech fluently and confidently. To reiterate, you may want to look into your gestures, facial expressions. You can try delivering in front of the camera or in front of the mirror, and practice vocal variety to emphasize some points, to emphasize that you're talking about story or you're talking about dialogue. Generally, Toastmaster Rachelle, you did well. Congratulations. Now I ask you again, how are you doing now?
1 minute of silence for our judges. 1 minute.
Mic test. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. Contestant Martin Esoto. Contestant number 3.
Toastmaster Rachelle, as I was listening and watching you deliver your speech, I saw a picture of a person that is full of truthfulness and willingness to share what she has. Today, Toastmaster Rachelle, you showed us a glimpse of who you are. As you started your speech with a question, "Kamusta po kayo?" It sparked curiosity and showed a touch of concern to me. Now, it is very important for a speaker to start well and engage her audience well, as it will give her a determination, or it will determine if her audience will pay attention to her or not. And also, I admire how you sustained your connection with me, as it enticed me to listen to you more. Now, sustaining that connection with your audience will help you keep your audience's interest intact. Now, what accentuated your speech even more was how you incorporated purposive movements in your speech. Like when you said 5 countries and the 3 tips that you have given us. It actually helped me comprehend and understand your speech more. Now, Toastmaster Rachelle, every great picture requires a lot of development and progress. And to help you develop in your speech, let me give you these tips. Number one is, as I was listening to your speech, I heard a single tone in your speech, especially when you said, "Don't you agree?" The tone in that part is sounded like one style. I suggest that you apply variation in your tone, as it will help you give more emotions and color to the speech that you have. And it will give or sound a more powerful message in your story. And also, you might want to consider raising your gadget at an eye level, as this will help you give a correct posture and presentability. Now, it is important for a speaker to learn how to present herself in front of an audience, as it will add credibility and make her look worth listening. A Toastmaster, Rachel, today you have involved me in your life, and I thank you for that. And as you continue your journey, leaving imprints of inspiration to people, keep that heart to share and continue sharing your stories to everyone. Because remember, it is not in owning, but by sharing what you have that you become a legacy. Kind of toast.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 4, Christian Pama. Christian Pama, contestant number 4.
Save for the rainy days. Master the art of preparation. Toastmasters contest chair. Today we are a witness to the speech by TM Rachelle, who has clearly mastered the art of preparation in order to deliver a very great speech. And I congratulate you on that, TM Rachelle. In your speech, I have learned how important it is to appeal to the emotions of the audience in order for them to buy your idea. Ladies and gentlemen, TM Rachelle has demonstrated the following mastery in the following factors. Number 1, warm welcome and opening. I really love how you use a soft voice in order to welcome us in your speech, and that has clearly shown on the mood of your speech that you're trying to give us. Now, you have also shown a story based on your personal experience. Ladies and gentlemen, it is really important to grab something from our personal experience in order for us to easily relay some valuable information to our speech. Also, I really like how you chose your dress for today. You know, your speech, the mood of your speech is quite sad because we're in the middle of the pandemic, as addressed by the dark color of your shirt, but those flowers on your shirt has really sparked a sense of hope for us. Also, you have shown a good eye contact. It makes us feel that while we're distantly apart, we're still somehow feel together. Now, in order to add benefit to your speech, there are some factors that you may want to work on. First that I have noticed is that it seems that you have a restricted speaking area. Because of this, some of your gestures are going out of the screen. What I would like to recommend for you is that once you have established your speaking area, you may want to try mark the floor, either by a tape or something, and extend your arms in order for you to fully quantify how long will you be extended. Also, I have noticed that some of your facial emotions are lacking. The eye and mouth coordination is lacking. There's something that you said about surviving your weekly allowance. However, you're smiling on that. And I think the facial expression of your eyes and your mouth has to be fully coordinated. Also, when recalling time, I would like to suggest that when you're recalling time, you may want to gesture us so that we can be guided. This is the present, recalling time, going back to the past. Also, the emotional buildup is really important. You may want to start slow, but at the end, increase your tone or increase the volume of your voice. TM Rachel, that is really a great delight for your speech. Continue being good at appealing to emotion, establishing eye contact, and having an aligned title of your speech. You may want to work on and do better on your speaking area, your facial expression, and the emotional build-up on your speech. And I assure you that on your next speech, it will be the best one that you will give us. Contest chair.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Test. Test, test.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 5, Kenneth Co. Kenneth Co. Contestant number 5.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, judges and fellow contest chair and Toastmasters. And good afternoon, Rachel. The sun always rises behind rainy clouds, and this is what your speech has proven today. You not only engage the audience by constantly maintaining eye contact, you are also throwing in interactive questions, ensuring that the audience continuously gets engrossed by the content of your speech. You also drew deep inside your personal stories and shared it willingly to us to incorporate your lesson that you wanted to communicate to the audience, making it feel so sincere and heartfelt. Now, Rachel, I believe I can help you take your presentation to the next level if you will listen to what I have to suggest. First of all, I would like to suggest rehearsing your gestures. What I saw during your presentation is some random movement of your hands constantly as you were trying to speak and relay your story. I would like you to keep in mind that sometimes moving your hands randomly can be distracting. So maybe before you make your presentation, rehearse. This is my first story, my second story. That way, each movement has meaning and it helps the audience be guided as how part of the story you are relating. Second, I felt that your introduction could be a little better. The introduction serves as a teaser to draw the audience in. So the question is, well, normally a useful tactic to do this, yet there is also another way. Asking the audience personally, how did you survive COVID-19 pandemic? How did you survive the quarantine period? Because using that as your benchmark, as your staging area, you can now tell us, well, tonight I will be telling you my story and how I and my family went through this pandemic. And third, I would like to suggest including the result of all your advice. For example, you saved up, that's why you managed to do it. So how are you doing now? That way the audience can have hope that following your advice can lead to something better. Overall, what I found most commendable about you is your empathy, because this story is relevant. This story will help us who are suffering from this problematic situation. Just remember that you have good engagement, you have very good grasp of personal stories. Remember to keep your intro short, rehearsing your gestures, and sharing us to the result. And I believe that you will become the rainbow after the rain. Good afternoon.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Test. Test. Mic test.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 6, Ana Luisa Guevarra. Ana Luisa Guevarra, contestant number 6.
Toastmaster Rachelle, congratulations for that wonderful and very emotional speech. You know what? Hearing your speech made me remember how I felt when this whole COVID thing started. First off, I was longing for human connection. And that was what you did when you had that introduction. You immediately connected to your audience by asking, "Kamusta ka?" And that is very valid in this situation right now. And with that longing for that human connection, I also understood the situation right now. And same with your speech, it is very relevant. And I'm sure each and every one of you understands where you are coming from. Good job, and always do that in your speeches for the audience to connect with you. Now, as your evaluator, my goal is to give value to you. And looking back at how I felt during this pandemic, I remembered to manage my expectations, or also manage my pace. And that is what I want you to consider. Manage your pace and your voice. You're giving a very emotional speech. When you're sad, say it slowly. When you want them or your audience to remember what you are saying, give that pause to have and feel that emotions. Next, as I realized that this COVID thing wouldn't really stop or end anywhere sooner, I made sure that I am sure of my vision and my goals are amplified. And perhaps you may want to consider to amplify your points as well in your speeches. Your speech is magnificent. Perhaps you may want to consider that my learnings during the pandemic is GPS, goals, being prudent, and savings. And that way, your audience can easily grasp the lessons that you want to share and your points as well. And lastly, in this pandemic, as I see my vision, I also felt that there are lessons to be learned. Always share your noteworthy lessons and summary towards the end so that the audience will remember your story and your lesson. To summarize, it is very important right now to be human. Always do your human connections. Have speeches that are understood and relevant. Manage your pace and your voice for your feelings. Amplify your points by using the power of 3 and have a noteworthy summary. Be human, especially today. Contest chair.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 7, Craig Manabal. Craig Manabal, contestant number 7.
Saving for a rainy day has never been more important. That is the main message Toastmaster Rachelle has given us today. And because of that, please allow me to give my evaluation of your speech with the letters of the word rainy. That's R-A-I-N-Y. Now, what did I love about your speech, Toastmaster Rachelle? The first thing that I loved about your speech is it was very real. My fellow Toastmasters, Toastmaster Rachelle shared with us stories of her childhood and what brought her up to be someone who is frugal and can save for a rainy day today. She shared with us about her shoes, her allowance, and up until saving for London. And that's something that not everyone can do, share personal stories of themselves. So thank you for that, Toastmaster Rachelle. The second thing that I loved about your speech is the letter A. It was very A analytical. You were able to share with us some bits and pieces of what COVID is and how it affects people, not just here in the Philippines, but worldwide. And that's something that I really applaud because you were able to tie that in with your personal story. So congratulations for that. Now, in case of the next rainy day, Toastmaster Rachel, I would like to give you some tips and tricks to beat out that rain. And I would liken that to an umbrella. So, what can I recommend to make this speech better, Toastmaster Rachel? The first thing that I would recommend is the letter I. Give us a good I introduction. You gave us a quote. And my fellow Toastmasters, if you're not aware, a quote is the third most powerful thing to use as an introduction. The first most powerful thing to use as an introduction is actually to include a statistic that will make everyone listen. For instance, you could have started your speech with, for example, 75% of employed and underemployed people in the world have been affected by COVID by getting fired or having less as their salary. And that would make everyone's eyes glued on you, Toastmaster Rachelle. So the future, you might want to consider that. The second thing that I would like to recommend is to have the letter N, nurture the audience. How do you do that? By giving us clear and natural transitions from one point of your story to the next. That way, we will be able to feel like we are listening to such a beautiful speaker and get that message easily. Which leads me to my third recommendation to Master Rachel, is the letter Y. Make us Y yearn to also save for a rainy day. And how can I recommend that you do that? Give us an alternate reality. Give us a universe where you did not save up for this London trip with your husband. And give us what exactly would you have to give up? Would it be not being able to use electric fans or air conditioning because you cannot pay for that Meralco bill? Would it be lessening your food consumption from 3 times to 2 times a day? Or something similar that will make us realize it is time to save for a rainy day. Overall, Toastmaster Rachel, I love that your speech was very R, real, and A, analytical. And if in the future you would consider giving us a better I introduction and nurturing your audience through transitions, and why making us yearn to save for a rainy day, I'm sure that you will not be afraid of the rain because you yourself can make it rain. Contest chair.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 8, Einer Abuyuan. Einer Abuyuan, contestant number 8.
Today, I witnessed an old saying, saving for the rainy day has stood the test of time. Thank you, Toastmaster Rachelle, for reminding us of that nugget. The way you built your speech is the objective is how you formed the habit of saving for the rainy day. It's one thing to know saving for the rainy day, but it's one thing to form that habit. And I like the way you move that by doing a story of how you ingrained that habit from your father until the time you went to your college, all the way to your professional life. It's actually doing things on a daily basis that will ingrain that concept of knowing, from knowing to actually doing. One of the highlights of your speech is also the question that you posed on kamusta na kayo? I was immediately hooked. It had an effect to me. I should listen to your speech. If I may just have some minor areas of improvement there, you could ask the question, kamusta na kayo in the midst of COVID-19? Then you pause to allow you to engage the audience. You may also want to ask another rhetorical question. Do you want to know what I felt during COVID-2019? In your storyline, you also added a little bit of your story, specific stories, and the impact that it affected me is that it led to credibility because you actually experienced how your father, how the circumstances in life had to do with you developing that habit. In the end, you asked a specific question, some areas there in terms of putting more emotion in your delivery. There was one remark there that how many of you whose husband, like me, whose salary has been reduced to 10 to 30? Then you pause and then explain yourself what was your feeling. In the end, your speech really resonated with me because that's something I know from childhood. But I guess it's one thing to know. It's one thing to do it. If you will be able to put these recommendations by still continuing your stories in a logical flow, mastering your poses, and inject a little bit emotion, I'm sure you're going to save more for the rainy days. Contest chair.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Sorry, I can't pin the timer. I can't seem to pin the timer anyway.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 9, Ruben Acebedo II. Ruben Acebedo II, contestant number 9.
Toastmaster speeches are surprisingly just like milk teas. You think you've heard or tasted them all, then one new flavor comes along and it blows your mind. What's Toastmaster Rachel's secret? Is it her smart use of language, beginning with the use of the vernacular, kamusta po kayo, instantly making the audience and her relatable? Or is it even her apt use of rainy in her message because, well, it's raining now? All of these. Is it even her authentic delivery style? Thanks to their consistent eye contact and real experiences of stories and overall conversational style. It's all these. It's practical, it's heartfelt. Her speech is a delicious blend of fresh ingredients. Right, Toastmasters? It reminded me of the value of being frugal at this crucial time. Now, let's give Toastmaster Rachel some love by clicking thumbs up. To make your milk tea more tasty, Toastmaster Rachel, you might wish to consider a few topics. First, exciting dialogue pearls. Try reducing the information that you provided into 2 dialogues. Say you, honey, I can't believe I have to push carts today for chicks to go. Honey, I can't believe I had to pay cut today. And then at the end, you could say, honey, it's a good thing we saved for that London trip because now we have money to spare. These dialogues enlivens your speech, makes your messages more memorable and you more authentic. Second is messaging mood matcha. Since you discovered a successful strategy for surviving this pandemic and are basically excited to share it to everyone because it's successful, why not use an encouraging tone? Kamusta po kayo? And, this strategy is exciting because it worked. Then finally, authentic gestures cheese. Why don't you mark those specific and main points of yours with the consistent and unique gestures? Say, thank God, Dad taught me to be frugal. Or if you're into K-pop, you could do, thank God taught me to be frugal. All of these, however, that said, Toastmaster Rachel, are simply topping to what is already an inspiring speech. Toastmaster Rachel, your brand of milk tea speaks of descriptive language and authentic conversational style. Now, try imagining your speech with toppings of exciting dialogue, messaging mood, and authentic gestures. As you keep your milk teas coming and try a few toppings, I'm sure you'll be making more mind-blowing Toastmaster House specials. Contest chair.
Minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 10, Doreen Cooper. Doreen Cooper, contestant number 10.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and good afternoon, Toastmaster Rachel. Thank you very much for sharing that speech with us today. As a freelance trainer, I totally empathize with you and your husband's dilemma. And I would like to thank you very much for that message that you shared with us this afternoon. Toastmaster Rachel, your message was made clear when you made numbers meaningful. When you emphasized that your husband's income dropped from 10 to 30%, you didn't just leave it at 30% and leave it as a random abstract number for us listeners. You told us that it was about a month's worth of groceries, and that made it meaningful for us. You also used very clear examples, your use of language when you said things like you had to forget you were a manager and sell chickens on the street. Those things made your story even clearer and allowed your audience to have a clearer mental picture of the things that you were saying. To help you win at inspiring even more with your super insights, here are some recommendations that I have for you today. One is to stick to one central story. Remember that you only have 5 to 7 minutes, and you want to make sure that you have enough time to build up that central story and as well allow your audience to appreciate it. See, today I noticed that you had two seemingly central stories. One was when you were talking about COVID and how the virus impacted you and your husband, and the other being the insights that you picked up as a younger child, or well, not as a younger child, as a teenager when you were in college. Then again, you were younger back then, going back to what I was mentioning. Now, when I say stick to one central story, even if you give examples or insights from when you were younger, I would recommend that you always bring us back. Bring us back to your central story, which was, I would recommend it being COVID, given that it is a very recent and present reality for so many of us. And make sure that you say things that would show us that you were positively impacted by those younger days in terms of how you and your husband were able to cope nowadays. This emphasizes your strength as a storyteller. Another recommendation that I have for you today is to bring it back to your audience. And what I noticed today was you gave us this beautiful story and beautiful insights, and then you ended with a challenging statement, which is great. And I wanted to hear more of that. I would recommend dedicating about a third of your speech time towards the end to bringing it back to challenges that you're challenging statements for your audience, and even giving us concrete examples of how we can apply those challenging statements. Because you see, Toastmaster Rachel, that would further cement your connection with the audience. And as you continue to make numbers meaningful, as well as give clear examples and bring it back to your audience and give us super insights, you're well on your way to inspiring even more of us. Congratulations.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 11, Nico Ivan Velasquez. Nico Ivan Velasquez, contestant number 11.
Rachel, kamusta? Thank you so much for asking us as well how we feel about the situation. Because yes, it is not only you, but the rest of us experiencing and suffering from this pandemic. Fellow Toastmasters, today we were able to enrich ourselves entertainingly with Toastmaster racial stories, but above all, informatively because of her tips. That is why Toastmaster Rachel allowed me to be able to evaluate you with the word kamusta. Ka, most, ah, ka, you. You were able to give us a clear outline of your beautiful speech. I would like to commend you for being able to start with a thought-provoking question, Tagalog. And it's not normal for somebody to start in Tagalog. I like it because it drawed our attention. Second, you were able to announce the purpose of your speech by saying, allow me to be able to present to you guys some tips for you to be able to save for the rainy days and arranging your tips chronologically. And of course, ending it with a message and game. Second, must. Must for Musta. Must because I must be able to recommend you some items for your improvement. First, your stories allowed opportunity for vivid imagery or vivid words. I like to go back to your story about Chooks to Go because I myself, as a hotelier, as a manager at that, became a gardener. So I would have loved if you could have talked about how you were able to put on your mask, put on your shoes, put on your pants, and brave the outdoors to be able to sell those Chooks to Go. The knocking of the doors and the rejections that you got would have made it even more interesting. And remember, as much as content is king, we also have a jealous prince at the back, which is delivery. If you were able to identify more vivid words, you would have been able to really play around with your heads, really exaggerate your voice, and you be able to really draw a picture in our heads, making it more believable. Toastmaster Rachel, I would also like to identify that your background could have been adjusted. Remember, the lesser the items that we see at the back, the more that we have no distractions. And also, please take note for our sympathy, internet connection. But let me proceed with the last letter A. A is for appropriateness. I like the fact that it has gone beyond a speech project, but really the concern for people who listens to you. Kamusta ka is most appropriate because you have sympathized with the people who listens to you. You have sympathized with me, and I cannot thank you enough. Toastmaster Rachel, tayo ay magkamustahan because we are all in this together. Improve and be a person for others. Back to our contest toast.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 12, Vanessa Lou Manliquez. Vanessa Lou Manliquez, contestant number 12.
In times of uncertainty, say, Toastmaster Rachel, you inspire me and I thank you. I particularly like the part in your speech wherein you shared your personal story because this made me relatable to it as times in COVID is also difficult and we have to say. You were able to give so much confidence of the learning in this pandemic and also throughout the life that you've been into. Like any other saving tips, there are a few tips that I could add to your team. The first is you may want to consider a simple message. A simple message is very important because this is the message wherein the audience like me can relate and can remember. A simple message could be as simply as, in times of uncertainty, save, and then you incorporate it with the personal stories behind to have it clearly to the listeners like me. The second would be gesticulation. This is a dramatic act, Toastmaster Rachel. For example, when you said travel around the world, you could simply make some drama, like doing this, travel around the world. So with that, the audience like me would be able to relate it and would be able to have a visual imagery on what you really want to say or what you really want to do. Other than this simple message and gesticulation, Toastmaster Rachel, you are a gift, and thank you for inspiring us tonight. I also commend your eye contact because this gives trustworthiness to me as an audience and reminded me to save in times of uncertainty. With your speech, I believe that you can carry on in inspiring others because it is heartwarming and you also confidently delivered it. In times of uncertainty, save, COVID or not, and remember always. Thank you, Toastmaster tabletop evaluation.
1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Mic test. Mic test.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Contestant number 13, Eduardo Catayoc III. Eduardo Catayoc III, contestant number 13.
Today, Toastmaster Rachel inspired, informed, and motivated us to save for the rainy days. And we have to thank her for doing that. Toastmaster Rachel, how are you? How does it feel saving your Toastmasters membership with 13 evaluators raining their feedback on you today? Like you, I have also my own experience of having financial difficulty in this pandemic, so I could really relate with your speech. Now, Toastmaster Rachel, there are 3 things that I love in your speech. First is the subject itself. It gave me the relatability to your speech because a lot of people nowadays are having financial difficulty in this time where we least expect it. Second is the action. You ended your speech with a call to action, urging us to save for the rainy day, which gives a lingering effect on us. And the third is V for value. Your clear message was clear all throughout your speech, and it really resonated. It kept on echoing, save for the rainy day. So we have S for subject, A for action, V for value. What do you need more to save? E. And that is for you to go an extra mile with these three things that I would like to suggest to you. First is include the audience with your speech. What's in it for me as an audience? You can include just a part by saying, for those of you who have been laid off or displaced in your job or have lost a lot of finances, save for the rainy day. In that way, there is an inclusivity in your speech to all of your listeners. Second is excite us with your mood. I've observed that you are empathic all throughout your speech, and that's good. For you to be more hopeful with your speech, add some heights and widths with your voice, especially on your end part where you say, fellow Toastmasters and friends, let us save for the rainy day. In that way, it would end with much force, and that would urge the people more to go with you. And then lastly, is for you to use a better angle in your camera. I've observed that your camera was down at you, making you look up with the audience. Now, for you to be inspiring, it is better that you connect with us at an eye level. And this is a different dimension in public speaking because we are doing it virtually. So I suggest that you put something that you could level up your camera in that way. We can see you at an eye level. Now, Toastmaster Rachel, with your great subject, A for action and V for value, added by going to the extra mile with inclusivity, exciting mood, as well as better angle of your camera, that we couldn't thank you enough for saving us with your speech. With those suggestions and feedback that I gave you, I could see you reigning with wisdom and wealth in Toastmasters. Go on with your journey. Congratulations, Madam Contest Host.
1 minute of silence for the judges to complete their ballot. Timer, please notify me when 1 minute is up.
Toastmaster Pria, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Friends and fellow Toastmasters, that concludes this year's District 75 Evaluation Speech Contest. The contestants can finally breathe their sigh of relief, and they can all relax and breathe out for a moment as we speak with each and every one of you just for a short while, for a very short interview. So let us start with contestant number 1, Ruth Mocorro. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Ruth.
Good afternoon.
Yes, what division and what club are you from?
I'm from Division F, Macalar Bay Toastmasters Club in
Awesome.
Cagayan de Oro.
Awesome. So let me just ask you, kamusta ka? How are you?
I'm doing great. Finally, it's done.
Okay, so I can see you're very, very relieved. So thank you, Toastmaster Ruth Mocorro. Let's proceed with contestant number 2, Toastmaster Juan Antonio Mendoza. Toastmaster Juan, what division and what club are you from?
I am from Division E of the Davao Noontime Toastmasters Club.
Okay, great. So Toastmaster Juan, have you saved for the rainy days and how did you do it?
I haven't actually started saving for the rainy days. I guess that is my biggest regret because a I am currently a law student, so most of my savings actually go to my books and to my living expenses in the city. That's why I have had difficulties in saving up.
Okay. So we've both have a lot to learn from our test speaker today. Thank you,
Yes.
Toastmaster Juan. We now proceed with contestant number 3, Toastmaster Martin Esoto. So Toastmaster
Hi.
Martin, state your division and your club.
I am from Division I from San Miguel Corporation Toastmasters Club.
Oh, awesome. So Toastmaster Martin, let me ask you one thing. Why did you join the evaluation speech contest?
Actually, why did I join? Initially, it is not my choice. I think it is meant to be that I will be here. And finally, yeah, since I am already here, I am ready to take on the challenge.
Okay, thank you for that, Toastmaster Martin. I'm sure many contestants share the sentiments of being here not by choice, but taking on challenges. Okay, we proceed with contestant number 4, Toastmaster Christian Pama. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Christian.
Good afternoon.
So, may I ask what division and what club you are from?
I'm from Division K from Maxim Integrated Toastmasters Club.
Okay, awesome. So, Toastmaster Christian, I'd like to know, how was the experience of preparing and joining the contest during this pandemic?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that one.
How was your experience of preparing for and joining this contest during the pandemic?
Oh, it was actually quite difficult because this setup is different, very different from the traditional ones that we're used to. The reactions that I'm getting are usually from my bed right here and not from actual people. So that is really difficult for me. So I guess the preparation that I did was to conduct the club meetings regularly and practice more and just get used to this platform that we're using right now.
Yes, indeed, this platform has been or has required all of us to adjust. But yes, as you said, practice and getting used to it helps a lot. So thank you, Toastmaster Christian.
Thank you.
We proceed with contestant number 5, Toastmaster Kenneth Co. So good afternoon, Toastmaster Kenneth.
Yes, good afternoon.
What division and what club are you from?
I'm Division L, representing UECP Toastmasters Club.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Kenneth. So let me ask you, kamusta ka? How are you?
Well, right now, truth be told, I was not prepared for this contest because I was second place in the division. Unfortunately, our champion had to withdraw, so I had to jump right in, and I only found out yesterday. So at least it's over.
Yes, indeed. I can see how relieved you are that it's over. And kudos to you for jumping right in and taking on the challenge at such short notice. Thank you, Toastmaster Kenneth. We proceed with contestant number 6, Toastmaster Ana Luisa Guevarra. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Ana.
Good afternoon, Toastmaster Pria.
Yes, so what division and what club are you from?
I'm from Division N, the newest division in the district, and from Abuyuan Toastmasters Club.
Wow, amazing. So, Toastmaster Ana, let me ask you, have you saved for the rainy days and how have you been doing it?
Definitely I have, because as young as perhaps 20 or 19, I've started investing already because I believe that it's important to secure your future, because no matter what, you're not sure, everything's uncertain, especially now that with this pandemic, you might lose your job, you might be redirected with something else, and saving is such an important virtue to have.
Yes, indeed. So the topic of our test speaker has been indeed very timely, and I'm very glad that you have been able to save for the rainy days. I'm sure we still learned a thing or two from the test speaker anyway. So thank you, Toastmaster Anna.
Thank you.
Let's proceed with contestant number 7, Toastmaster Craig Manabal. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Craig.
Good afternoon.
May I ask what division and what club you are from?
Yes, I'm from Division M and I'm representing Nielsen Philippines Toastmasters Club.
Awesome, I see. So, Toastmaster Craig, I'd like to ask you, why choose to join the evaluation speech contest?
Well, actually, I joined the evaluation speech contest because of evaluator number 5, Kenneth Co. So I saw him one time when I was club hopping and I instantly got, this flame inside of me that I wanted to be as good as Kenneth. So I hope today I didn't let him down and I showed him that I could be as good as him.
Yes, that is indeed the beauty here in Toastmasters. The people we get to speak side by side or rub elbows with the people that we look up to, and we have so many inspirations around this organization. Thank you, Toastmaster Craig. We proceed with contestant number 8, Toastmaster Einer Abuyuan. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Einer.
Good afternoon.
May I ask what division and what club you are from?
I'm from Division H. I'm from the Metro South Alabang Toastmasters Club.
Okay, thank you for that, Toastmaster Einer. So I'd like to ask, how was your experience of preparing for and joining this contest?
It's a bit of a challenge because I also work quite low hours, so I just had some few minutes to do it. But that's not an excuse. But I guess you have to live with what you got based on the cards laid out for you. You have to make do with it. And to me, that also I become knowledgeable about myself. What can I do to prepare in this challenging environment?
Indeed, challenges are everywhere, but if you are willing to commit to it, and there should be no excuses. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Ruben.
Hello.
Hello. So, Toastmaster Ruben, please state your division and club.
Division G, Mekawayan Toastmasters Club in Bulacan.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Ruben. So let me just ask you, kamusta ka? How are you? How have you been?
Gutom ako. I took lunch too early, I suppose, and hoping to get some food right after this contest.
Gutom ka, yes, indeed. I think many of us who have been in or who have joined contests, or a lot of your co-contestants today experience the feeling of not being able to eat before the contest. So I believe you're very relieved, and we're nearing the end. I'm sure you could eat some food after a few weeks. So congratulations and thank you, Toastmaster Ruben. We proceed with contestant number 10, Toastmaster Doreen Cooper.
Hello, good afternoon, Toastmaster Pria.
Good afternoon, Toastmaster Doreen. So may I ask what division and what club you are from?
I am from Division B, from the Executive Toastmaster Club.
Okay.
Sorry, Executive Toastmasters Club, tongue twister.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Toastmaster Doreen. So I would just like to ask you, how was your experience of preparing for and joining this virtual platform of the evaluation speech contest?
Well, okay, so for me, preparing for this competition really took a lot of effort. I honestly felt that I was a trainer by day and a Toastmaster speech contestant at night. Because what would happen would be I would spend my days working and then I would spend my nights practicing. But one thing that really stood out for me, more than my own efforts, were all of the people whom I really felt supported me. And that was something that really stood out during this process of preparation. So that for me was one of the most memorable things that I have to say I experienced.
Yes, indeed. So in joining contests, it might be tough, but if there's something that I've learned in Toastmasters, it's that we have mentors and support all around us that makes this entire experience memorable and enjoyable. Thank you, Toastmaster Doreen.
Thank you very much.
We proceed with contestant number 11, Toastmaster Nico. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Nico.
Hello, Toastmaster Pria. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
Okay. So may I ask what division you are from and the club you are representing?
I am representing Division D and coming from a baby club, barely 1 year, Iloilo Business Park Toastmasters Club.
Okay, that's awesome. So Toastmaster Nico, I would just like to ask, why choose to join the evaluation speech contest among all 4 categories?
Well, Toastmaster Pria, for one thing, I love the intention of the entire category. For people to be able to move forward to their speeches, there has got to be that one person who would be more than willing and able to mentor another. Yes, evaluation is also a form of mentoring, where we are able to share what we know and our best practices so that that person could really grow to be the person that he would want to become in the future. So it's really all about the intention. And I use it personally in my own job every day.
Indeed. That's an awesome answer, Toastmaster Nico. Yes, the evaluation and feedback in Toastmaster is really, or the intention of evaluation has been very good for us, and it's useful not only in Toastmasters but in our job as we speak with colleagues and subordinates. So thank you, Toastmaster Nico.
Thank you very much.
Contestant number 12, Toastmaster Vanessa Manliquez. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Vanessa.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so may I ask what division you are from and the club you are representing?
Division C, Cebu Mango Toastmasters Club.
Okay, Toastmaster Vanessa. I would just like to ask, kamusta ka? How are you?
Hungry.
Okay, so I can see a lot of you are hungry, much like I think it was Toastmaster Ruben as well. So yes, I believe you're more relieved now and you can enjoy a hearty meal from where you are at right now. So relax and wait out for a minute and you can enjoy the meal a few short time afterwards. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pria.
Okay, we proceed with our 13th contestant, Toastmaster Eduardo Catayoc III. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Eduardo.
Good afternoon, Pria.
Yes, so may I ask what division and club you are representing?
I'm from Division A and my home club is Kamanava Branch Toastmasters Club.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster. I would just like to ask, how has your experience been in preparing for this year's evaluation speech contest, and how was it different, or how was it different from your preparations in the previous contest?
Actually, it's a lot. I mean, the preparation itself for the evaluation is the same, that I need to consult my coaches and mentors to help me out in providing the best and most memorable evaluation. The only thing is that it's more challenging because, for one, I need to check for the best equipment for me to be able to have a better reception, as well as really pray hard in order for the internet to cooperate.
Yes, indeed, there are things out of our control in this platform, and one of it is the internet connection. So thank you, Toastmaster Eduardo. So friends and fellow Toastmasters, we heard the best evaluators of 13 different divisions this year. And I'm sure from the 13 contestants, we were able to pick up a few tips that we can save for the rainy days here in the Toastmasters community. They can all relax. All contestants who haven't eaten yet can have their hearty meal right after this. And with that, we will now proceed with the giving of,
or presentation of the certificates to be led or to be done by our Program Quality Director, Toastmaster Marilyn Legaspi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pria, for that interview with our contestants. You deserve, and the contestants, a thunderous applause. We would like now to give our certificate of appreciation and certification to the 13 contestants. We'd like to present our virtual certificate. We have for Toastmaster Ruth Mocorro. Can we please, Ruth, this is your virtual certificate. Congratulations and thank you for giving us your best time in this evaluation speech contest. A round of applause.
Thank you.
Second, we also give the certificate to Juan Antonio Mendoza for giving his participation in this speech contest of evaluation. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you spotlight the certificate, please? So it can be shown on screen. The third we have for Toastmaster Martin Esoto. Thank you so much, Martin, for joining our speech contest and evaluation.
Thank you.
Next, we'll proceed to Toastmaster Christian Pama. Christian, congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you for joining this contest. Next, we have for Toastmaster Kenneth Co. Thank you, Toastmaster Kenneth, for taking up the challenge in this particular contest. Third, we also have for Toastmaster Ana Guevarra. Congratulations, Toastmaster Ana.
Thank
you for joining the contest. We also would like to give this certificate to Toastmaster Greg Manabal. Great. Congratulations and thank you so much for your precious time. Next contestant, we also give the certificate to Toastmaster Einer Abuyuan. Congratulations. Congratulations. We present the certificate again to Toastmaster Ruben Acebedo, the second. Congratulations. Now you can take your lunch. Finally, now we also give our certificate to Toastmaster Doreen Cooper. Thank you so much, Doreen, for your participation in this contest. Thank you so much. Next, we go to Toastmaster Nico Velasquez. Thank you, Toastmaster Nico. Thank you, Damo gid na salamat. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next, we go to Toastmaster Vanessa Liu. Toastmaster Vanessa for participating in this contest. And we have Toastmaster Eduardo Catayoc III. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Eduardo, for sharing your precious time in this contest. And I believe the 13 contestants deserve a thunderous applause. Fellow Toastmasters, finally, all of our contestants are winners in their own right, but at the end of any contest, we must declare some winners. And I'm very pleased to announce that there is no time disqualification. Now, allow me to give you the third place winner.
Ma'am, closing remarks po muna.
Yes. Sorry. So we give for the closing remarks, we'll give it to our PQD-Elect. We have PQD-Elect Richard Qua.
Hello, District 75. That was a very fun, entertaining, and very exciting contest we just had. So to all the contestants, I would just like to congratulate all of you. This will go down in history. You are one of the 13 contestants who competed in our first ever evaluation district contest online. And to all our viewers watching us later on Facebook, and to all our fellow Toastmasters in District 75, I want you to look at the names and remember all our 13 contestants here today. Remember their names, add them on Facebook, and ask them to be your next speech evaluators in your meetings, right? That would be fun. That would be a learning experience for you. So once again, congratulations. This is another historic moment for District 75. I am really very proud of what we have accomplished. And whoever wins, remember, we are already champions. Now, back to our PQD, Marilyn Legaspi, for the results.
Thank you, PQD-Elect Richard, for that inspiring message for all Toastmasters in District 75. Now, we also would like to also give our profound gratitude to all the judges for this particular announcement. We have the third place. Drum rolls. We go for Toastmaster Ruben Acebedo III. Spotlight our third placer, Ruben Acebedo III. Requesting our tech team. The second place goes to yes, that's our third placer there, Toastmaster Ruben. Congratulations again. Thank you so much. And our second place goes to Toastmaster Doreen Cooper. Congratulations, Toastmaster Doreen. Thank you so much. And hello. And finally, our champion. Our champion for evaluation goes to Toastmaster Greg Manabal. Congratulations, our champion, Greg Manabal, winning this evaluation speech contest. And for all the contestants, the winners, congratulations, and the districts for all of the efforts, and we give you kudos. Back to you, our Toastmaster of today. Toastmaster Pria.
Yes. Thank you to Program Quality Director Marilyn Legaspi, and congratulations, a big congratulations to all our winners and to Toastmaster Craig. Your name will be the newest addition in this perpetual trophy, and we will be shipping, I think we will be sending it over to you. So thank you. It has been my pleasure to be your Toastmaster of the day for the District 75 Evaluation Speech Contest, and congratulations once again to all contestants and the winners. Bye-bye.
Let us welcome Toastmaster District Director Danga to officially close our contest.
Your attention to our District Director Margaret Danga to officially close this contest.
The power vested in me by Toastmasters International, I now declare this evaluation speech contest closed. Good afternoon. Congratulations to all the winners.